The Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef just crossed a line nobody thought it would. What started as a lyrical clash suddenly spiraled into threats, street tension, and something far darker.
Like that. He did an interview and he basically threatened to shoot Kendrick if he comes to Toronto.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, it's a stadium tour.
Gotta be.
Right. But what's interesting about this tour is on June 12th, they're playing in Toronto, Ontario, at the Rogers Centre.
The revelation? Leaked audio where Drake is allegedly caught talking about Kendrick's Toronto stop, and insiders claim it wasn't just rap talk. The whispers say it was plotting, a plan that hinted at real violence, maybe even murder, if Kendrick dared to bring Not Like Us into Drake's city.
I mean, what's gonna happen when Kendrick performs Not Like Us in Toronto?
And it didn't stop there. Drake's own affiliate, Toronto rapper Top 5, went public with threats, practically daring Kendrick to show up without heavy police security. The internet saw rap beef. The streets saw war signals. And once that leaked audio began circulating, it became clear this wasn't about records anymore. This was about survival, reputation, and control. Stay locked in and hit that like button so more people hear the truth behind this story. Top 5. That's the name that turned a lyrical battle into a street-level threat. While most of the world was watching Drake and Kendrick trade bars, this Toronto rapper, a known associate of Drake, went on camera and made it personal. He warned Kendrick not to step into Toronto with a wall of police around him. If he did, Top 5 said, it would prove he wasn't real. But if Kendrick showed up unprotected, the implication was clear. He might not make it out. Now here's the part that raised eyebrows. This wasn't just some random voice from the underground. Reports surfaced that Drake had previously helped fund Top 5's legal defense during a murder trial. That connection gave weight to his words. Was this just clout chasing, or was it a warning sent on behalf of something bigger?
Drake's guy, Top 5, said he'll respect Kendrick if he shows up without police security, which is ridiculous. And everything else like that. He did an interview and he basically threatened to shoot Kendrick if he comes to Toronto.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it didn't stop there. Whack 100 reminded everyone that Toronto isn't soft. Artists like Schoolboy Q and Roddy Ricch had both allegedly run into problems performing there in the past. Drake's influence was known to get shows blocked. So when Top 5 aimed directly at Kendrick, it looked less like noise and more like a coordinated warning.
Schoolboy Q claimed the show was canceled in Canada.
Canceled, so for them to book Kendrick up there like that, you know, well, hey, listen, it's letting you know either it was a myth or how much pull he had, and or they saying, hey, look, out with the old, in with the new.
Tony Yayo broke it down simple. Once those kinds of threats hit the air, the feds are listening. And suddenly, this wasn't just about bars. It was about whether Kendrick could even set foot in Toronto safely. The flashpoint came the moment Kendrick and his camp announced their joint stadium tour. Fans were excited across the board, but one stop instantly raised the stakes to a dangerous level. June 12th at the Rogers Centre in Toronto. That wasn't just another tour date. That was Kendrick bringing Not Like Us, the diss anthem that shook the culture, straight into Drake's backyard. For Toronto, it wasn't just music. It was pride, territory, and respect on the line. Performing that track in the heart of the city felt like walking into enemy territory and throwing a flag down. And the symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. Industry voices quickly picked up on the tension. Whack 100, never one to mince words, highlighted how Drake had always been seen as the gatekeeper of Toronto. For years, rumors swirled that he could block artists from booking shows in the city. But Kendrick's name plastered on the Rogers Centre billboards seemed to shatter that myth. It was like Toronto itself was declaring, Drake's not the only king here anymore. But here's the twist. The energy didn't just come from fans. Within Drake's circle and the city's underground, Kendrick's presence was viewed as open provocation. For many in the Six, it crossed a line. And that set the stage for the next chapter. Because once Kendrick doubled down on bringing his tour through Toronto, Drake's affiliates didn't stay silent. While Top 5 was making headlines with direct threats, Drake himself stayed silent, at least at first. But when he finally did speak, his words came in two very different forms. On stage in Florida, he stood tall before a packed crowd and made a statement that felt less like hype and more like a message aimed at Kendrick.
Got my head up high, my back straight, I'm 10 toes down in Florida or anywhere else I go, and I know that no matter what, it's not a on this earth that can ever fuck with me in my life.
Head high, back straight, 10 toes down, nobody on this earth can touch me. That wasn't just concert banter, that was defiance. A declaration of untouchability. But then came a second response, one that seemed almost calculated to cool things down. During a Twitch stream with XQC, Drake shrugged off the noise, calling the rumors nothing but fairy tales. He told viewers he was fully intact, mind, body, and soul, hinting that the threats were exaggerated or fabricated.
Me, I do music, in case you didn't know. I'm here, as you can see, fully intact, mind, body, and soul, in case you were wondering, right?
Mind, body, and soul.
Mind, body, and soul. You need facts to take me out. Fairy tales won't do.
Yet notice what he didn't do. He never mentioned Top 5 by name. He never directly denied the murder talk. He just talked around it. And that silence made the whispers even louder. Because when your affiliate is threatening one of the biggest rappers alive and you don't shut it down, people start connecting dots. Was Drake brushing it off because it was nonsense, or because saying too much might expose something bigger? But listen to this. The whispers only grew stronger when reports of Drake's own bodyguard being shot in Toronto surfaced. The moment news broke that Drake's own bodyguard had been shot in Toronto, the entire beef took a darker turn. On its own, it might have been dismissed as coincidence. Random violence in a city where shootings aren't rare, but layered over threats, leaked audio, and Kendrick's looming concert date, it looked like something else entirely. It looked like retaliation. For people watching from the outside, this was the line between rap drama and real-world danger. Because if the man hired to protect Drake wasn't safe, what did that mean for Kendrick stepping into the same city with a target on his back? Suddenly, the idea of a tour stop turned into the possibility of an ambush. And this wasn't internet paranoia. Industry insiders like Whack 100 made it plain. In wars like this, nothing is random. Every move, every incident carries meaning. When bodyguards start bleeding, the culture stops laughing. But it gets worse. The bodyguard incident poured gasoline on the rumors that Drake's camp wasn't just rattled. It was actively preparing for something. Fans and journalists alike started speculating whether the leaked tape was more than just idle talk. Was there really a plan in motion? Or were enemies of Drake using the moment to make it look that way? Either way, one thing was certain. The streets don't wait for confirmation. They connect dots instantly. And those dots were all pointing toward Drake. Then came the whisper that shook the culture, the leaked audio. A recording, never officially released in full, but whispered about in back rooms, burner accounts, and private group chats. The claim? Drake, caught on tape, allegedly venting about Kendrick's growing disrespect, and suggesting his people might need to handle it if Kendrick brought that energy to Toronto. Now here's the dangerous part. No one's confirmed the tape. Drake's camp never acknowledged it. Journalists couldn't verify it. And yet, once the rumor hit, the streets treated it like gospel. Because the timing lined up too perfectly. The threats from Top 5, the Toronto concert, the shooting of Drake's bodyguard, every piece fit together and the alleged quote spread like wildfire. If Kendrick brought that disrespect to Toronto, he might not come back from that stadium. But listen to this. Insiders claimed Drake even tried to frame it as a balancing act, that his team should keep it lyrical on the surface, but be ready if things cross the line. Whether that's real or not almost didn't matter. Perception became reality. Fans, podcasters, and even veteran rappers started treating the leak as proof that the feud wasn't confined to music anymore. And suddenly, the narrative shifted from who had the better diss track to who might walk away alive. As the whispers of leaked audio spread, another old wound reopened: ghostwriting. For years, critics had accused Drake of leaning on other writers. And now, in the middle of a feud with Kendrick, a rapper praised as a pure lyricist, the timing couldn't have been worse. The question spread everywhere. How can you kill Kendrick on the mic if someone else is writing your bars? Even allies got dragged into the storm. Kendrick dropped a line aimed at 2 Chainz, accusing him of lying to Drake about loyalty. When pressed, 2 Chainz brushed it off as a wordplay misunderstanding, pointing back to their track No Lie. He claimed no disrespect, but the fact that Kendrick could even weaponize the ghostwriting stigma reminded fans of a truth Drake could never fully outrun.
2 Chainz, why did you lie to Drake about being good? Kendrick said 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. Why you do that?
I just think it was kind of like some wordplay because Drake and I got a song called No Lie. Mm-hmm. And so when he said he lied, I just felt like, I don't know. But I didn't take it as no kind of way. I don't think he was taking a shot at me. I've heard all type of instances where somebody wanted me to say something back. I just think it was a moment where it was about Atlanta artists.
Still, not everyone sided with Kendrick. Oshino from State Property argued that Drake showed fight, saying his diss track Family Matters was actually the strongest record of the beef. In his eyes, Drake proved he had dog in him. even if the public didn't see it that way.
It was good. Drake was showing that he got dog in him, though. Even if he lost, if people say anybody lost, to me, he ain't lose. But
wait, you don't think Drake lost?
No.
You think Drake won?
Yeah, this is this thing.
But then came Charlemagne Tha God, who cut through the noise. He declared Drake had tapped out after Not Like Us, saying Kendrick beat him lyrically, spiritually, emotionally. Charlemagne crowned Kendrick the clear winner, while Drake looked cornered.
Being a simply because you lost. Simply because Kendrick Lamar kicked your ass lyrically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And anybody acting like this is anything more than Drake's feelings being hurt, you are O2. OVO to be exact, okay? He's fighting the same war that Michael Jackson fought. Drake is taking a stand for the art and the artists. People who are running with that narrative would hold Drake's penis while he pees and shake it for him when he's finished. Okay, Drake has been handling this terribly since Not Like Us dropped. And please, let's keep this in mind. Drake, you're in this position because you tapped out. Okay, you chose to tap out after you heard Not Like.
And here's the twist. Behind the scenes, some even suggested Drake should flip the hate into a hit, turning the viral BBL Drizzy meme into a song. For all the battles Drake fought with words, the silence around him spoke louder than anything. This was the man who built an empire by handing out verses, lifting up careers, and putting artists on Billboard who might have never made it without him. From I Love McConnon to Blockboy JB, from Young Bleu to even Kendrick himself once upon a time, Drake had extended his hand to nearly everyone. But when the beef reached its boiling point, crickets. Not a single major name came to his defense. No one dropped a verse backing him. No one went on record calling the threats out as lies. Nothing. Lil Yachty tried to explain it simply. People hate on Drake because he's the guy. But the truth cut deeper. When artists fear you, they speak out. When they respect you, they ride for you. When they do neither, they stay silent. And in this case, the silence was deafening. For someone who had always moved like the godfather of the rap game, that isolation looked worse than any diss track. Through all the threats, rumors, and leaked whispers, one question hung in the air. How would Kendrick respond? The answer was silence. No interviews, no tweets, no Instagram captions. And that silence spoke louder than any verse. Insiders like Whack 100 pointed out the obvious. Kendrick couldn't dodge Not Like Us on stage. It was the anthem of the beef, and fans expected it live. Performing it in Toronto, though, was a different story. Whack warned it could turn chaotic. For Kendrick to step on that stage and spit those bars in Drake's city was like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline. But here's the twist. Kendrick's from Compton. He was raised around real danger, not industry drama. Whack even admitted Kendrick isn't scared of gangsters. He grew up surrounded by them. His team would make sure he was protected, but fear wasn't in his DNA. Still, Toronto wasn't Compton. The loyalties there ran deep, and Drake wasn't just a superstar. He was seen as the city itself. Disrespecting him on home turf risked igniting something nobody could fully control. And then came another layer. Reports surfaced of attempted break-ins at Drake's Toronto mansion during the height of the beef. No one confirmed who was behind them, but the timing fueled speculation. Was it rivals sending a message or internal chaos spilling out into the open? Either way, the pressure surrounding June 12th grew heavier by the day. While the streets argued over threats and rumors, another battlefield opened, the global stage. Out of nowhere, the NFL announced Kendrick Lamar as the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show. It was the ultimate stamp of approval. Clean, powerful, legacy-defining, and for Drake, it was a gut punch. Industry chatter claimed Drake had turned down the halftime slot before. But insiders weren't buying it. The truth, many believed, was simpler. The NFL didn't want the smoke. Not with Top 5's threats still fresh, not with rumors of leaked audio tied to a potential murder plot, not with break-ins and bodyguard shootings swirling in headlines. They wanted someone untouchable. Kendrick fit the bill. Meanwhile, whispers circled that Drake was eyeing the World Cup as his global stage. Big, yes, but different. It felt like a consolation prize compared to the cultural weight of the Super Bowl. The contrast was brutal. One rapper celebrated as a symbol of resilience and art, the other shadowed by scandal and suspicion. But listen to this. The optics cut deeper than just events. To fans, it looked like Kendrick was rewarded for keeping it lyrical, while Drake was punished for letting his war spill into threats, silence, and street talk. By the time the halftime announcement hit, the narrative was clear. Kendrick was the culture's chosen face. Drake was the one trying to hold onto a crown that was already slipping. When you pull all the threads together, the picture is almost too wild to believe. A Drake affiliate threatening Kendrick on camera. Reports that Drake once funded that same affiliate's legal defense in a murder trial. A bodyguard shot in Toronto. rumors of break-ins at Drake's mansion. And at the center of it all, a leaked tape, unverified, unacknowledged, but treated by the streets like a confession. But you know what? Kendrick never flinched. He didn't tweet, he didn't rant, he just stayed focused on music, on the tour, and eventually on the biggest stage in America, the Super Bowl halftime show. That silence became its own weapon. It made Drake look frantic, while Kendrick looked untouchable. Here's the part no one can shake. If the audio is real, then hip-hop just witnessed a murder plot hiding behind a rap feud. If it isn't, then Drake has been dragged into one of the ugliest setups in modern music history. And his refusal to shut it down only fueled the fire. Either way, the fallout is undeniable. Drake's reputation has been scarred, Kendrick's star has risen higher, and Toronto itself has become a stage for one of the most dangerous rivalries the culture has ever seen. So here's the question. Was this just hip-hop bravado gone too far, or was it the glimpse of something far more sinister? If you made it this far, hit like, share this video, and let your voice be heard below.